Because of Mr. Terupt by Buyea, continuing Part 2, April, page 202. Jeffrey. Things happen for a reason. Jessica told me that. I didn't hate Peter. Even if I wasn't smiling on the outside, he had me laughing on the inside a lot. He just liked to have fun. And the good fun went real bad on him that day in the snow. That's all. It wasn't all his fault. James told us that. James had more courage, more good heart in him than any of us smart kids. I don't know if James's words alone would have been enough. But then cool man Luke came to the rescue. Not just Peter's rescue, but all our rescues. We needed to talk. Thanks to James and Luke, we started to. Things happen for a reason. I can't find all the reasons. Did everything we did with the collaborative classroom lead to this moment? Is that why it all happened? Why did it have to be Peter? Why did it have to be our teacher in a coma? Was it so I would learn that life isn't fair sometimes? Because I learned that a long time ago with Michael. Anna. Things are working out, sort of. There's been good news for James. Lexi's back to being nice, and Peter's part of our class again. But it's hard to stay positive when Mr. Terupt is about to have brain surgery. I get scared when I think about it for too long, and I think about it all the time. That and my mom. Danielle's words crushed me. I didn't get mad at her, though. In a way, I felt sorry for her. I know she wants to be my friend, but her family doesn't want that to happen. That's got to be hard. This time I talked to Mom about it as soon as I got home that day. Mom, Danielle said her family disapproves of you, and that you and Charlie will never be allowed to get married. Whoa, slow down, Anna, Mom said. First of all, Charlie and I aren't looking to get married. Second of all, I know their family disapproves of me. My jaw fell open. Sit down, honey. I sat at the kitchen table across from Mom. She'd been looking over the mail and drinking a cup of coffee, cream and sugar, when I burst in on her. Mom explained. Charlie and I went to school together. When I ended up pregnant with you, he didn't treat me kindly, just like everyone else. In fact, one day he got me so upset I kicked his truck. I put that dent in his door. I could see my mom reliving these painful memories as she spoke. He's actually apologized to me for how he behaved back then. But why would Charlie say he's sorry his family disapproves of you? I asked. Danielle's parents and grandparents are pretty old-fashioned and religious, just like my parents who couldn't find a way to be accepting of me and my situation all those years ago. They still can't. For a second, I wondered about my mother's mom and dad. I've never met them. Were they really that unforgiving? Were Danielle's? I think Charlie just went along with everyone else when we were teenagers, but now he's ready to think for himself. It's always good to make up your own mind, Mom said. So I have Mr. Terupt to thank. If it wasn't for his accident, Danielle might never have come over, just like she said. Thanks, Mr. Terupt, but you didn't need to go and get hurt this bad so I could be friends with Danielle. Don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful, but I'd really like you back now. You're going to get better. Be positive. You taught me that. Maybe Danielle and Charlie will be able to change their family's opinion of us, I said. I'm going to be positive. Mr. Terupt would want that. Danielle. I know what it's like to have people gang up on you. Being big, I learned real quick. It stinks. I never thought I'd do that to someone else, but I did. I didn't even realize it. Peter must have felt that no one in the whole wide world liked him. I see it now, but I didn't see it when it was happening, when it mattered most. Not until James and Luke made me open my eyes. Selfishness caused me to be blind. I only thought about how bad I felt. I'm not saying I would have done anything different had I seen it earlier. I'm just glad it changed, for all of us. Luke told us Mr. Terupt's going to have brain surgery. All the girls started crying when he told us that, and the boys didn't make fun of us for it, not like every other time. Luke kept talking. He told us about Mr. Terupt's wrestling and concussions, and it not being all Peter's fault. It was an accident, a real honest accident, with lots of us to blame. Luke said that Peter threw the snowball because of him. But he wasn't the only one who got Peter mad that day. Others of us started confessing. I prayed for God to cleanse us all. I hugged everybody at James's party. I was sorry for so much, but really sorry for Peter. Even though we all told him it wasn't just his fault, I think he still felt it was. I felt bad for Anna, too. I hoped she wasn't mad at me after what I had told her. I wanted us to still be friends. I also wondered what Charlie's intentions were toward her mother, so I asked him. I found Charlie out in the barn early one morning before school. He was sitting next to one of the cows and pulling her teat to get her started for milking. "Morning, Sunshine," he said. "What brings you out here?" "I want to know why you went to see Terry Adams," I said. "To share a good cup of coffee with a fine woman," he said, "and to ask her for her forgiveness for the way I treated her when we were in school." Charlie slipped the machine over onto the cow's udders and got her milking. "Good girl," he said, patting the cow. Then he walked over to the next one, squatted down, and started the process over. "Do you think Anna and her mom are bad influences on me?" I asked. "Nope. But I don't think you should try to change Grandma's or Mom's opinions on that score." "Are you going to see Terry again?" "I'd like to," Charlie said. He stood and moved to the next cow. Charlie had 4 machines, so he could milk 4 cows at the same time. He did the milking every morning and night. "Then are you going to try and change their opinions?" "Nope. I see no reason to start a family war. You shouldn't either," he said. "That's easy for you to say, because you can just drive yourself over there whenever you want. Sooner or later my teacher won't be in the hospital any longer. He'll either be back or in the ground, and I won't have any reason to go over to Anna's house. I want to be friends with her and her mother. I like them." Charlie stopped what he was doing and looked at me. "Let's cross that bridge when we come to it," he said, "and let's continue to pray for that teacher of yours." "Do you think he'll make it through the surgery?" "I don't know," Charlie said. "I wish I could tell you, but I only know animals." He walked over to me and wrapped his arm around me, giving me a little squeeze. "It's time for you to catch the bus. Go on. Have a good day at school, Sunshine." He made me smile a little. I hoped I didn't smell too much like the barn. Jeffrey. If anyone knows silence, it's me. The silence in our classroom wasn't the worst. There was always someone you could turn to and whisper. It contained tons of sadness and guilt, but it wasn't absolute. Even Peter's silence was over. He was lucky. My silence at home pressed on, with nobody for me to turn to, and with nobody in sight to rescue me. That silence was absolute. The only company in my house was more sadness and guilt. But somewhere along the way this year, Terupt taught me to see things different, to think about things different, to think about more than just me. It was always my silence and my fault. But now I started to think about Mom's silence, and Dad's silence, and Mom's fault and Dad's fault. They were hurting too. Why did I have to wait for them to talk to me? I didn't. A few days after James's party, I crept into Mom's bedroom, where she lay on the bed in her pajamas. I climbed in next to her and put my arm around her. Then I told her, "It's not your fault. I love you." She didn't do anything, but I lay there and fell asleep, holding my mom. When I woke up, I felt good. I hoped my words had helped her. I thought of Terupt as I walked out of her bedroom. He had helped me reach out. I missed him. I wished I had a chance to tell him how I felt, too. I wanted him back so bad. I found Dad sitting in a chair in the family room, better called the be-alone room in our house. He was home, so I must have slept for a while. I wonder if he'd seen me with Mom. Immediately, I knew it was going to be much harder for me to say those same words to him. We never talked to each other like that, not even before Michael died. "Hi, Dad." I sat on the sofa near his chair. "I saw you in there with your mother," he said. "She needs you, Jeffrey. You might be the only one who can help her." "Dad, it's not your fault," I blurted out. He didn't say anything. I knew my words surprised him, that they hit hard. I got up and went over and hugged him. "I love you," I said. I let go after a few seconds and headed out of the room. "It's not your fault either," Dad said, before I was gone. I heard his voice breaking up as he said it. I felt that good feeling again, and thought of Terupt. I thought about what my dad said about Mom needing me. I didn't know what else to do, so every day after school I started going home and resting next to her in the bed. It felt like the right thing to do. I tried. Terupt taught me that too.